Why do I have such a large amount of tiny little pebbles that I keep having to cover so my cat won't take a shit in? Great question. I would love to tell you. What if there were maybe microfossils in it? Yeah, things like little tiny rodent teeth and that sort of thing. Yeah, so microfossil sorting is the bane of my current existence. Basically, you put a whole bunch of little tiny pebbles on a plate and you hope that one of them isn't a pebble but a dirty tooth. And you use a little paintbrush like this and you use a dissecting microscope. And you do want to try and look at them on all sides because these are still dirty, even though I have washed them so many times and in various cleaning solvents. Love this for me. The reason that you want to use a paintbrush and not something else is because you don't want to accidentally fling your fossils across the room, which is something that happens with things like tweezers. So brushes tend to be a little bit better. That's also why this is all on a paper plate, is for control and cheapness. When it comes to microfossils from this particular location, it's important not to get your hopes up because, yeah, this is the best thing we found so far, and it's a half-dissolved lizard humerus. Look at it in all its glory. Wow, so lumpy, so small. And we've also found some shitty bone fragments. That's about as far as I've gotten. Now, there are some other techniques that you can use in addition to microfossil sorting, and one of them is using a UV light because enamel from this site usually glows orange. I say usually because it turns out that if the enamel preserved in such a way that the enamel is black, it does not glow. And also, only the enamel on your teeth glows. Nothing else does, so none of the other little bones glow. But this nice little orient tooth does. Yay. You do have to be careful with that shit, especially if you're not using an LCD screen like I am, because UV light and your eyeballs are not a great combo. And if you're using a regular dissecting microscope, that is just kind of magnifying that UV light right into your eyeballs. And it's, yeah, not worth it, especially since it doesn't actually pick up everything, just clean teeth that aren't black. Here I am being super professional and definitely not just using an earplug case to contain all my fossils. Well, it works. And I wanted to show you this one because this one is a fossil. It's the inside of a long bone. So sometimes those long bones get a little hollowed out and then they fill with little silica casts. So not real exciting. Can't really tell what it is, but it is still a fossil. So are, I believe, everything else in this picture. Some of them could be pumice. It's real hard to tell the difference between a shitty little bone fragment and a shitty little piece of pumice. I love this site so much.